If you talk of local manufacturing goods, we are aware that cost of utilities are very high in this country, and so therefore those people in the manufacturing sector always complain. What do we see in terms of borrowing from the banks? Cost of borrowing is on the higher side. Just about 2 weeks ago, policy rate was increased by 150 basis. It used to be 28% and now it's 29.5%. When it was 28%, lending rate at the bank was close to 40%, and now that it has gone up to 29.5%, you can imagine that definitely it is going to go up. So therefore, if you are producing in this country, it is very, very expensive, and some of the manufacturing companies have even ended up because they cannot break even. So that also accounts for the high prices that we are seeing at the markets. Now, if we talk about the local produce, we should know that gone are the days that we use hoe and cutlass in doing farming. Now, farming is being done mechanically. We are doing mechanized farming, and all the inputs that goes into this mechanized farming are imported. They are not manufactured locally. Let's talk about weedicides. Let's talk about fertilizers. Let's talk about agrochemicals. All these products are being imported, and when you import these products, you have to pay import duties before you clear them. All this add to the cost, and so therefore, if foodstuffs are produced from the hinterland, we must all know that these implements that they use are all implements that were brought from outside and have paid duties on it, and so therefore it adds to the cost of the farming. And therefore, when the goods are transported from the hinterlands to the cities, definitely you should know that prices will be a little bit up, irrespective of the fact that petrol prices, has gone down, because it's just one of the variables in the determination of prices.
But consistently, yes, the fuel prices have gone down, because I've heard traders say, yes, it costs us a lot to bring food from further away into the city. But if we see increases in the prices when fuel prices increase, and your people make the case that these price hikes are because of the hikes in fuel prices, why shouldn't we expect a corresponding decrease when the fuel prices also decrease? Because that's the case that your people make when we go to the market to buy food.
Well, it is true that some of our people do make, that case that prices, goes up as a result of the fuel increment. And like you rightly said, of the last 2 or 3 pricing windows, it has gone down. At least we expect, some sort of decrease in the foodstuffs that we sell. But you and I will also agree with me that even the statisticians, when they are coming out with the food inflation, the prices that determine the food inflation are always up, irrespective of the fact that petrol prices have gone down. So that is the reason why I said that in the determination of the prices, petrol prices is just one of the variables. But the factors that I've enumerated comes into the determination of the prices, not to the petrol alone. Petrol is just one aspect of it. And you cannot say that because petrol prices has gone down for the last 2 prices windows, therefore my prices has to be reduced drastically. Well, you can, choose to adjust the prices a bit, but to go down drastically will be a little bit of a problem.
Mr. Husseini, you've listened to your good friend Mr. Boateng making the case that it's just one thing. Fuel is just the one item on the list of 10, 20, 30 items on the list of variables that go into pricing goods or services. Does it seem to the consumer, on the consumer side, that this is a fair argument?
It is not a fair argument. Once again, let me say good morning and happy Easter to our viewers. It's not a fair assessment because, as we all know, the moment fuel goes up, instantly their prices go up. They don't say that, oh, we have the goods already. And the argument will be, oh, next time when we go to bring it, we will pay more. And that argument doesn't add up. Because once it's going down, you will tell me that, oh, you've paid a high price before. But once it goes up, you tell me that I should allow you to increase it immediately, which is not fair. You see, in business, they have something called fair trading. And in this country, consumers are not getting fair trade. In a sense that, yes, we agree. You are a businessman. You are in there to make profit. But when, you see, in business or in market, they have the buyer's market and the seller's market. When it's the seller's market, they are happy. But when it becomes the buyer's market, they don't want to give. And that is why I have a problem. It's never done in any jurisdiction apart from here, or maybe Africa. This is why I see when things go up, which you all know that things have gone up. So if you tell me you are going to increase, I don't have a problem. But when it's descending, I want to see you also descending with your prices.
Even if the variables, the other factors that he mentioned,
like which variables? They are all,
cost of borrowing,
yeah, I understand that. But
all the other indices.
Yeah, but we've been not just because there's mechanizing farming in Ghana. The excuse has always been there, not because some machine has been used to plow. Why is it that onions and things coming from Burkina Faso is cheaper than Ghana? Don't they also have machines there? But onions, Burkina Faso, coming to Ghana is cheaper. Plantain coming from Ivory Coast is cheaper. I would say that it's just the Ghanaian thing about maximizing the opportunities that they have as businesses. And you can't fault them because they are in to make profit. Look, you remember, you are a lot younger, but they used to have Nigerians who were doing this petty trading. Okay, we call them bourgeois for. Okay, their profit was on a small percentage because they looked in volumes. The Ghanaian businessman don't care about volumes anymore. He wants instant profit. The Ghanaian, I mean, we all travel. I do business. My family are in business. My wife is a businesswoman. I grew up in Okanshi. My mother, everybody is a business. Adepa Pharmacy is my niece. I get to my point. So I understand their business. But the Ghanaian businessman, his profit margins are too huge. Look, the same way you are talking about other things that goes into the food basket. I agree with you. But I don't have the same things going in my pocket in terms of pay or salary. So how do I even afford? And I've told them several times that it will get to a point, if we cannot buy, they'll be stuck with their goods. Because it is buying and selling. If the buyer cannot buy anymore, the selling will not go on. And this is what they should understand. Some of them, okay, I mean, when they tell you cost of things that they have in their shops, and you also know how much it costs somewhere, and you're okay, fine, let's add this, everything, and you look at the profit margin on it. It's the profit margin that worries me. It's too much. Look, in business, ask any school of business or whatever that profits If you make anywhere between 15 to 25%, you've made plenty profit in terms of proper business. In Ghana, they make 300%. That's what I mean. If you like, open the lines and people will tell you. People will tell you. I am from a business family. Okay, my family is still in business. I always argue with my wife on this same argument. And I say it is not fair. Okay, the moment, and this is the thing, it is instant though. They don't even give us the same room when the things are going up. That, oh, I have the goods in the store, so let me sell the goods that I already have. And then when I go and bring the new stuff, they will tell you because I will change the dollar at the higher rate. I don't care what you have in your shop. You bought it at a lesser rate. Same way when the thing goes up, you can't tell me that I should allow you to hold on until, no. That's not fair business. And they know. And we've allowed them to do it. And Ghanaians, they also don't know how to boycott. In other jurisdictions, they will boycott businesses. Because the business, your main focus or your main reason why you are surviving is because of your customer. There's a shop in America called Nordstrom's. Nordstrom says he likes an informed customer. Because that customer will come today, tomorrow, until the end of his life. Ghana, they don't care. I didn't ask you to come to my shop. That is the attitude. And it is not fair. Make profit, make reasonable profit. And that is a problem. Look, the dollar, he's talking about the dollar too is coming down. Right? Isn't the dollar now almost about 11 cedis now? It went up to 4, it went into 17 or so.
15.
About 17. About 17. The dollar is now down to 11. Petrol went to almost some high price. It's now down to 11. I agree. Some of the taxes that they pay is very high. That one is government. We need to, I've told them that let's come together. Let's plead with government that, look, if you let me pay all these high taxes, it would affect the end user, who's the consumer. Because true, he is not Santa Claus. He's not going to pay taxes and give it to me for free. He has to collect the taxes back. But the question I'm asking is, how much profit? The margin of profit is where the issue is.
Let's bring our viewers into the conversation. Our WhatsApp number 055-556-1034. Are you a business person? Are you a consumer? What are your concerns when it comes to pricing? Reach out to us. Mr. Capito and Mr. Boateng are here, Vice President of GUTA and the CEO of the Consumer Protection Agency, to help us understand some of the issues that you may be facing. Mr. Boateng, you've heard your good friend here make the point. And we've seen this a lot on the market, haven't we? That when you go into a typical Ghanaian shop, you're likely to see the profit margins or the prices of goods at much higher rates than you go into your typical, perhaps a Nigerian shop. I've experienced it personally, so I know what he's talking about. You go to Circle, you want to buy something, you're more likely to get a better beat down price from our friends from Nigeria than you are likely to get from your friends who are Ghanaians. And I know that you have this whole, space reserved for Ghanaian traders, and some people cannot get into that space, and if they are foreigners. But do you understand some of those concerns, that if I can get something for cheaper from a Nigerian or from anywhere else, if I have that choice, I would go to that person. So why are the profit margins such a problem for you? If you can make, like Kofi is saying, you're good to go. Why 300 if that's true?
Yes. I cannot dispute the fact that some of our people do make outrageous profits. That one is there. But for somebody to make a 300% profit, as Mr. Capito said, that one is not true. The market that we are in currently is very competitive market, and you should know that you have borrowed a facility from the bank. And so, if you don't sell quickly, if you say you want to make much profit, how will you be able to service your facility and then make a good turnover? That one is not, it's not true. The market that we are in is very competitive. So you cannot just, be just increasing your prices just like that. You always compare us to the Nigerians. That one is an undeniable fact that some of the Nigerians sell, a bit cheaper.
Even Togo,
than
Burkina Faso.
Yes, than ours. But we should be asking ourselves, what is the policy rate of Nigeria? In September last year, that our policy rate was about 22 thereabout. Nigeria policy rate was about 14%. Was about 14%.
You're watching us live on GTV Breakfast. WhatsApp number 0555561034. That's a quick technical break there, and we will continue with the conversation. Mr. Clement Boateng and the CEO of the Consumer Protection Agency are helping us understand why the prices of goods and services are not affected when the fuel prices decrease. And Mr. Boateng is making a strong case for his people from the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, and of course Consumer Protection CEO is also fighting for some of the concerns of the consumers to be heard. And we've invited you to join the conversation on our WhatsApp number with your own experiences. Mr. Boateng, you were making the point about what the policy rate in Nigeria is.
Yes.
And comparing that to Ghana.
That to Ghana. Currently, we are all aware that VAT has been increased from 12.5% to 15%. If you add the other tax, NHIL 2.5, Get Fund 2.5, COVID levy 1%, VAT is almost about 22%. What is the VAT in Nigeria? What is the VAT rate in Togo? What is the VAT rate in Ivory Coast? Now, all these Nigerians that you are talking about channel their goods through the Eastern Corridor. And by going through the Eastern Corridor, they don't pay the necessary duties that they are supposed to pay. I have duty paper here. I will show it to you.
But when goods enter the country through any of the borders, depending on what kind of goods they are, they are expected to pay certain tariffs.
They are expected to pay certain tariffs, but they always don't pay the right tariffs that they are supposed to pay. So time and time again. On what
basis would you make that claim?
I am making that claims because I know what I'm talking about.
The immigration and the GRA officials will not be here to respond.
Yes, I know what I'm talking about. If you go to the customs office at the airport, you will see the number of trucks that they have impounded simply because they didn't pay the right duties that they are supposed to pay. All the goods will be brought down, checked one by one, for them to make sure that they pay the necessary duties and taxes before the goods are released to them. So therefore, if they bring the goods out, they can therefore sell at any price that they want, irrespective of the fact that they didn't pay the right duties. So
is it fair to assume that all Nigerian businesses, or the majority of them, from what you're inferring, do not pay the right taxes, and that's why their goods are cheaper on the market? Could it be the Ghanaian trader is just making excuses, and the consumer is the one bearing the brunt of it?
No, the Ghanaian trader is not making excuses. Look, there was a time that we embarked on this foreigners in retail trade issue. We went to a shop in Kumasi, and you'll be amazed to see that all the goods that are in the shop, when the GRA asks the Nigerian to produce custom duty papers on all the items, he wasn't able to produce any paper. And for the period, for over 5-10 years that he has been in business in Ghana here, He's not paying VAT. He's not paying domestic tax. He's not paying anything. They are just doing the business. And when you go there to buy, for them to even issue a receipt to you becomes a problem.
Well, I find that quite problematic, and I wouldn't want to box everyone in the same.
You know, Thelma, it is very, very interesting, this assertion they made by Mr. Boateng. That means our systems are not working. Okay, our system, I'm talking about people who are supposed to man the gatekeepers are asleep. Yes, it's true that maybe some lending rates or borrowing interest somewhere will be cheaper because they've made it so for businesses to grow. That one I can agree with them. I'm talking about when you, even these Ghanaian businesses, goes to a non-Ghanaian shop and buy this water, and the person sells to them 1 cedi, they will come and sell it to 5 cedis. Have you seen the boys on the street who go to some big shops, buy those items? Okay, have you seen their profit margins on it? It's the Ghanaian attitude. And I mean, I'm not going to sit here and, like I said, I'm from a business family. Go to Okanshi. We don't want to do quick turnarounds. They come, the goods, look, just like the way we even doing property renting in Ghana. The man says, I want $1,000 or equal to $1,000 a month. Somebody comes, I'll give you 800. He says, I won't take it. The house will sit there for the next 5 years. If you are taking the 800 times 5 is $40,000. But you will let the house sit. It's the Ghanaian attitude.
So if it's the Ghanaian attitude, then you don't put the blame on traders alone.
But hold on. Let me make my. The question is, your excuses that you give the consumers is where I have a problem. Where it is the unfair way of doing business. When it goes up instantly, which is fair. When it's coming down, you tell me you will not reduce it. Why? Because in 3 months from now, if you decide to go and buy the goods again, the dollar rate would have gone up. So you will not reduce it. Is it fair?
But Mr. Capito, he made a very, I want us to address this issue, that some people evade taxes. And so they go behind the systems, the laid down networks.
Is it only non-Ghanaians?
So that
I'm asking the question.
They are able to offer their goods at a lesser
No, but you are
Is it no? Hold on. It's not that we are on the market. Is it the only? If not, GRE will not be going around. Is it only the non-Ghanaians? Let's.
But those are the people that you are comparing us with.
No.
Yes.
I'm just telling you that their mentality. Because as a kid, call mommy at a store. My mother would tell me, call mommy at a store. Because mommy at her margin is small. And this is why her margin is huge. Because and this is why I face as I'm a Ghanaian. I'm in my country. I'm entitled. That is the problem. We need to change our mentality of doing business in Ghana. I agree. You incur some serious cost that is not necessary.
Yes.
I agree with you.
Yes.
I don't even understand why we are even being made to pay COVID test.
COVID tax.
It doesn't make any sense to me. Where is COVID? I don't know. Maybe in Nigeria, are they paying it? In Togo, are they paying it?
They are not paying.
You know, there are certain things that does not make any sense to me. You go and buy this water from abroad. You get to Accra, they say pay ECOWAS levy. As if the water is made in ECOWAS. Meanwhile, ECOWAS is not doing the same thing. See, I agree with you. Let's see how we can make it a way that maybe government needs to retune or redirect and see where they are going to collect taxes and revenue, where there are some huge loops or loopholes that government doesn't want to attack, which is property rate. I don't understand why government cannot be serious.
Well, efforts have been rolled out to make payments easier. So we've had some of the officials at the table all meant to make it easier for people to pay their property rates, even ahead of their property being valued or being valuated.
Listen. My assembly sends people around. They come to my house with a plain sheet of paper. I said the girls.
Well, you are not supposed to do that.
No, let me explain. No. Officially, come with the assembly's stamp, a letter, official document. We are jokers in this country because other jurisdictions, every year it is your mandate to pay your property tax. So you pay. Government needs to redirect and stop this pot. Maybe that's the reason why they are also doing what they are doing. Because government is somehow lazy. They find the low-hanging fruit, the pot. Because if you don't pay, your goods will not come out.
Yeah.
So that is where everything is being increased.
You see how quickly you are, agreeing with
what. Yes, but
he knows that.
But when it comes to the issue of prices,
it doesn't want to.
Yes. So Mr. Boateng, negotiate for better terms with government if the taxes are as crippling as you're saying they are. How about that? Have you made those efforts?
We have met government several times on this cost of doing business.
Yes.
For government to try as much as possible to cut down cost of doing business. And regarding the shipping lines, they are also in this country milking the importers. Look, 2 years ago, there was a fact-finding tour within the ECOWAS region, to also look at how their cost of doing business is, especially regarding the shipping lines. And when we came, we all saw that if you take the total clearing charges at the port, if you take the percentage that the shipping lines are charging, Ghana alone, shipping lines are charging almost 7% of the total clearing charges. But Togo is less than 1%. Togo is 0.98%. Cote d'Ivoire was about 3%. Dakar was about 4%. Ghana was almost 7%. So we have told the regulators, that's the Ghana Shippers Authority, to try as much as possible and amend its laws, because we have seen some loopholes in their laws which doesn't allow them to bite. But if you go to other jurisdictions, it is not like that. The same shipping lines or vessels that comes here are the same vessels that also plies this route. But why is it that when it comes to Ghana, Ghana's shipping line charges is higher than all the countries within the sub-region? So we have asked Shippers Authority to look at it, and I think they are doing something on it. Now, let's talk about, quite recently, you all know that there has been a reversal of the benchmark values. Benchmark values, when it was in place, was helping every consumer in this country. I know my friend will not agree with me in that direction, but it was true. Yes, it was true, because benchmark brought prices down. Had it not been benchmark, which was given in 2019, prices would have been much more higher. But when the benchmark came, it brought prices down. So when government decided to reverse benchmark as a result of some pressures which were coming from somewhere, we told government that it is not right for government to reverse benchmark. Government didn't listen, and government has taken off benchmark.
Mr. Boateng, when it comes to holding others to their word, when it comes to putting the blame on the taxes and the policies, and you're quick to say, oh, government should have done this and government should.
Yes.
But when it came to the profit margins that Mr. Capito raised, you didn't say anything.
No, I said...
I've seen traders who have goods in their shop,
yes,
who walk consumers out. They walk customers literally out of the shop so they can change the prices on the goods in the shop whilst they are there. Because they've heard, someone has called that the dollar rate has gone up. I've witnessed it personally. I'll go over to the screen and read a few messages. But how do you respond to some of these things? You are in the shop, the goods are already there.
Yeah.
Why do you get a call and then you decide that, okay, I was selling this for 1 Ghana cedi, now I'm going to sell it for 2 Ghana cedis, just because you've already bought it, I'm buying it. Why can't you address that?
Maybe 1 out of 100 people
100 out of
will do
100.
that.
Are you sure?
I'm telling you.
1 out of 100.
1 out of 100 will do
People
that.
have felt that personally,
1 out of 100 will do that. I'm telling you. And maybe that thing was done at the time that the our CD was going down.
It was very recent. It was very recent. It was very recent. And I'm glad that you're making a point, and Mr. Capito is also doing the same. We are having a conversation with Mr. Clement Boateng, who's Vice President of GUTA, and Mr. Kofi Owusu-Hene, CEO of the Consumer Protection Agency, on prices and why the reduction in fuel prices are not being reflected in the goods, the prices of goods and services that we consume. And we've invited you to join the conversation on our WhatsApp 0555561034. These are your thoughts and not the thoughts of GBC. I'll read some of them aloud. So, gentlemen, you can take note, and then perhaps we'll have time to address a few of them before we wrap up in just a few minutes. So, here's a long one about the policy rate. Nothing to do with the profits Ghanaian traders want to achieve. I'm sorry, Mr. Boateng, but you are wrong. Nigerian traders know the sense of business.
Know what he's talking about.
On the other hand, Ghanaians, not really. Example is here. I was coming from home and I was stopped by a lady selling mangoes. I wanted to buy for 20 cedis. She said she wouldn't sell because she only have them. She would sell them for 40, I think. And I asked her if she can't divide the 40 into 2, and she totally refused. Also coming to rent, my landlord refused to give me a house for $500 a month for a year because she wanted 2 years. But it's been a year and the house is still empty. And Nigerian will never do that. Benchmark didn't bring anything down. So they're still coming for you on the screen. The rate at which prices are increasing in the store never ceases to amaze me. The milk I used to buy at the rate of 34 cedis, I bought it 2 weeks ago for 59 cedis. This week it's selling for 75 cedis despite decrease in fuel prices and dollar rates. At least fear God. It's telling on all of us. Good morning from Abokobi. They have more examples. Ordinary pack of carrots, 13 cedis, now 24 cedis. Prices are killing us. Good morning, Mr. Capito, I think, is really making a point there, and he's more than 100% correct. What he's saying is a fact. Alaji joins from Medina Estate. If food prices can't be reduced, I call on the Minister of Agriculture to revisit sales at the ministry to public servants, because under PNDC government we did same. Question to you, Vice President. Is there any meeting of knowledge sharing between your group and the Nigerian Chinese traders for new ideas of doing business, so they could tell you what the trick is what I'm guessing. What Capito is saying is true. The profit margins of Ghanaian businesses are high. Even those who sell perishable goods like avocado and banana, they prefer throwing them away than selling them at the lower price when they are getting rotten. Listen, whoever you add that sentence with, avocado. Because this is so true. This is so true. What Mr. Owusu is saying is very true. You'll be surprised that some pharmacies are making about 300% profit on drugs. Imported goods at Kumasi is cheaper than those in Accra.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the port is in Accra.
Yes.
So some very, very strong sentiments coming from the screen there. Good morning. Please tell the man to your left, he should be placed, the price of the commodity at the ministry. Is he on point? Don't understand what you're trying to say, viewer, but try and put your thoughts together again and let's read it. It is we individuals and the behavior of increasing prices. People have taken advantage of the economic hardship to make life easier for themselves. When things are very difficult, others took advantage by increasing prices of their various goods. I know someone who bought an item which cost 20 Ghana cedis, but is selling it at 70 Ghana cedis. When she said things are very high. Asemo, First Lady Titi, God save our country, Kweku Roberts, from Awudome Estate. I'm going to go straight to the top. Now, welcome from East. Kofi, you're on point. GUTA should be fair to we, the consumers, by telling us that fuel price is only one variable in pricing. GUTA has shot itself in the foot. Please, let's all change our attitudes and be patriotic. Kwabena sent us that from Kumasi. I'll read two more. Mr. Capito, thank you for speaking out loud for us. Consumers' profit margin for Ghanaians are so high. Good morning, Thelma. I want to know, what are the duties of the Consumer Protection Agency? Mr. Capito sits with us quite often, and he will make answer that question a bit later. Tell my wife was in Nigeria recently. The price of Coke, 750 ml in Nigeria, was going for 2 Ghana cedis. The same in Ghana is 7 cedis. Why Ghana traders is a question everyone is asking. I'm guessing that Mr. Boate, you have a lot to answer when you read the sentiments on the screen. And I'll give each of you an opportunity to make your final comment. So your last word.
What is
Mr.
interesting
Capito.
is, in terms of the manufacturer, we have something called manufacturer suggested retail price. So the manufacturer will tell you that I manufactured this. This is the price. Then there is the suggested retail price. So he will then give you as to what margin you can sell it. You've seen it with the Coca-Colas and the Pepsis. They will do an advert and say Coke should not be sold more than this. Okay. When the people, the retailers, they don't even pay for transportation. It is sent to them. Okay, even the ones in the stores, they even give them fridges and everything. But they sell the Coke more than 1 cedi.
Let's wrap it up, Mr. Capito. Let's give final word to.
Yeah, all that I will say is, if consumers, and for that matter, wants goods to be sold affordable, then government must also reconsider the duties and taxes that we are paying at the ports. If duties and taxes goes down, definitely prices will
How would we know? Because now fuel prices are down, the dollar rate is down, but the prices are still rising.
I told you, fuel is one of the variables, but there are a lot which has to do with taxes. And if government is able to, prune down taxes, like I wanted to show you, if you clear goods at the port, you have about 20 levies and taxes that you pay at the port before your goods come out. So government should prune down those taxes, and then prices will be affordable for
Vice
everybody.
President of GUTA, Mr. Clement Boateng, and Mr. Kofi Owusohene, CEO Consumer Protection Agency, talking prices with GTV Breakfast. We'll take a quick break. When we return, Val sat down with the composers, prolific artists, and she'll be having that interview with them. We're playing it back to you. Breakfast show live on GTV. We'll be back after this break.